Hey everybody, welcome to Valentine TV. I am doing a reaction. It's coming from TISA Tales platform on YouTube. Um, Mine went blank, y'all. Anyway, as you come in, please hit the subscribe button. Also, hit the like button if you like a little bit of it, okay? And I'm gonna give you an explanation in just 1 second. Listen. Last night when we ended the live, we had 857 subscribers. Today we have 864. We going on up, y'all. Going on up. Yeah. Anyway, the reason I'm doing this live, this reaction rather, is because this was like one that had happened like around lunchtime, right? So if I don't play this one, then the next one, like the daily update recap thing, the end of the day recap, it didn't make sense to me. So I had to go back and I said, well, maybe if I play this one, because it helped me figure out what was really going on. So I thought I'd do the same for y'all, just in case. I didn't want to do the daily recap, and I was lost. Maybe I just was daydreaming and stuff, but anyway, I'm gonna play it just a little bit. Y'all know I skips, right? And I pause sometimes. And sometimes anyway, let's just get with it. Just please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if I appreciate y'all. We got 864 subscribers up in here. Man, thank y'all so much. Lord. Okay. All right. I'm gonna let Tisa go ahead and get started, and I'll come in as need be. Okay. All right. And if it mess up for any reason, just know I'm out here running around trying to figure it out. Okay. All right. Because I'm trying not to panic. I'm trying to stay calm. I love y'all. Thank you. Okay. Here we go. This is Valentine TV reaction. Okay. So won't nobody come in. Why you don't teach us paid like yesterday? Why you don't teach us using TISA stuff? Because I asked TISA. That's why. I could have said none of your business. I know. That's rude. But anyway, here we go. I'm going to let TISA go ahead and get us started and let us know what's been happening in the courthouse.
Talk about everything that's going on in the courtroom. Jane Doe, the rumors surrounded about that, the way Diddy's team is in a huddle, the way so much is going on. Let's get into this. I have my handy dandy notebook. Let's get into this. You know what? I got my fan, right? And, excuse me, and these mosquitoes. Anyway, let's get into this because we're going to be on break for the next 20-25 minutes. I'm probably going to be talking for the next 40, but we need to talk about the way Diddy's team looked like they absolutely melt down in court. There is no other way to talk about it. There is no other way to get around it. Now, when they come back from lunch, they're going to talk about a few evidentiary issues. What are those evidentiary issues? What we've been talking about on the channel, that June 9th thing for a secret cell phone that under the warrant Diddy should have turned over, but he kept secret. They found it because when they raided the hotel room, when he got arrested, that phone they showed was rumored to be, they had forwarded the message from device 1 to device 2. And that's how through device 2, they found out about device 1 that Diddy shouldn't have had. Diddy, everybody says, oh my God, Diddy says it's good for him. Diddy says a lot of stuff. Diddy said he never even hurt anybody, okay? But we all know we cannot believe what Diddy says. So what actually happened? Let's get into this. Let's also talk about the meltdown. Now, a lot of people were saying that Jane Doe said that she didn't want to testify. I don't know if I believe that. Now, in the beginning, it looked like it did. I don't know if I believe that because how do you go from not testifying to getting out there? I think what Jane Doe was saying is and this is just my guess, she wanted to be protected. She wanted the noise to stop. Again, let me tell you something. The way all of the people coming to testify here have been treated, by certain online platforms, I think has been horrendous, okay? I see, and I've said it again, I see why Gina didn't want to testify. Because Gina has a history. We know who Gina is. Could you imagine what would be going on in that girl's life right now? Aside from if you think she's still with, if you think out of this, that, and the third, I don't know. I do know that if she did have good intentions and she wanted to testify, you would be crucified for this. However, the prosecution has been doing what they can to protect the
witnesses. Y'all, just like it's some people that may know who Jane Doe is, like the one now. What if they they truly know, and they tell somebody that's evil, and then they start spreading the word. Maybe somebody like threatened her in that way or something. I don't. You think? Hopefully not. I'm hoping her skin got to be tough. You hear me? After dealing with Diddy, if for that long, any amount of a month, your skin has got to be tough. Except if you're young Miami and you ain't got that experience part of the relationship or whatever that ship is yet. Yeah. Yeah, all except her. The other women, y'all skins should be tough, thick as nails. All right.
To protect the witnesses. But keep in mind, I'm just plugging my headphones in really quick. But keep in mind, this is a new day, right? Can you guys hear me? Keep in mind, this is a new day. And it's hard to control everything. It's no longer like you control like the nightly news and you can control what everybody's doing. So it's a little bit more difficult to control. Hold on, y'all. Let me get out of this sun. All right, I usually love the sun, but not 90 degrees worth. Anyway, y'all, let's get back into this. So what actually happened? Well, a couple of things. First of all, okay, Annabelle said, hardest working reporter, have a refreshment. Annabelle, thank you. You know I will. Welch's grape soda without the Diddy special in it. Thank you so much, Annabelle. I appreciate it. Hopefully the phone doesn't overheat. Okay, so what else is actually going on? Okay. First of all, Tenny Garagos still off of her game. Tenny Garagos still, I don't know, we've seen her cross before. She can make magic happen when she is crossing. Again, Diddy got $1 million team. Even as much as I even clown Mark Agnifilio, baby, he is heavy. He knows what he's doing. Oh my God, Alfonso Wesley, thank you so much for the super chat. I got drinks and I got dinner. Thank you so much, okay? Teeny was literally trying to turn everything around on Jane Doe and make it seem like Diddy acting like an extra from The Shining didn't really happen. Okay, let's get into this. We're also going to have to talk about Jane Doe and that mysterious thing that happened earlier today in the trial. Okay, really quick, High Classy said, congratulations, you're on the up and up. Oh, thank y'all. I appreciate that. Also, Charlie says, plenty goods at TISA. Saw you on Nancy Grace when you said Free Willy. I spit on my coffee. Who needs coffee when you're serving tea? Thank y'all so
Nancy
much.
Grace
Also, I am on ABC Live, Dateline, Nancy Grace, featured in the Hollywood Reporter. I have a great article about that. On top of that, there's a...
I think she on Nancy Grace today too, y'all. I think it was an hour ago. I got to check it out. I just got back in, but I got to check it out myself. Let's see. Let me see. I forgot what I was doing. I gotta concentrate, y'all. Y'all know how I be doing. Look at there. Okay, let's see what's up.
App or get an account if you just want to listen. But if you want to actually talk, it's going to be kind of like Twitter Spaces, kind of like a town hall. Make sure, let me take my earrings off. They keep bumping up against my thing. It is going to be kind of like a Twitter town hall. Please make sure you join me Friday at 7:30. Of course, I will be going live right before we do that. And you can do it on the go, okay? It's not going to be any faces. It's just going to be voices. So you can do it on the go, okay? All right, anyway. Let's get into this weirdness of what was actually going on with Jane Doe. Now, you know there was like a lot of commotion in the courtroom, okay? You know sorry guys, you know Mark Agnifilo was literally trying to argue and do his thing, okay? Now, really quick, Honeybee Therapy, thank you so much for the super chat, okay? And Linda Young, thank you so much for the super chat. Also, Veronica, thank you. Phoebe Burrow said, we're so proud of you. Keep shining, beautiful. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. And Marcy Sancho, thank you so much for the super chat. Savage Justice said, loving TISA as a victim advocate. You always know. Nancy Grace is TISA spirit animal.
TISA really is an advocate for victims and women and black people, racial. Yeah, she really is an advocate. And then she's an advocate, like she said, let me clean out my own neighborhood, meaning the African American, and then she will come help your neighborhood. That's, and I thought, yeah, she's always been an advocate, y'all. Anywho, let's go.
We're going to win. Well, let me just tell you what the legal experts are saying, all right? Art by HD, thank you so much. Katrina, thank you so much for the Cash App. And Marcy Sancho, thank you so much. Said, we love you here in the report. Okay, so there was a hubbub in the court, okay? They kept saying in chambers they wanted to talk about something between Jane Doe's lawyer, Diddy, and of course the prosecutors. They were inside that session for a while. When they came back, they moved to proceed. Now, a lot of people said that, oh, Jane Doe's saying she doesn't want to testify. I do not think that's true. If Jane Doe was saying she didn't want to testify, she wouldn't have waited until 5 minutes before they brought her into the courtroom. Clearly, this woman planned to testify. However, there is something that got under Jane Doe's skin. Now, what could that be? We are going to talk about it. But more importantly, can we talk about the way Diddy kept wanting things on record, okay? Now, it was weird because here's the thing. Remember the rapper and his wife that were in Vegas with Jane Doe, okay? Diddy, it looked like, was trying to see if the rapper could actually testify or get involved in the case in some way in order to perjure Jane Doe. What was that saying? It seemed like that was being implied. And that because Jane Doe kept bringing up what happened in Vegas in January 2024. And I've already did a story on who that person is, right? And low key, they landed in Teterboro Airport, the private jet airport in New Jersey last night. So they are 100% in the area. And certain people think they might have actually been at the courthouse, and along when the boys showed up, there was also celebrities downstairs. But forget all that, right? That's just idle gossip. What do I know? But here is the...
No, the point is, we only looked at one person that was standing in front of the courthouse because that loud lady was messing with him, right? So I just seen that part. But I ain't seeing the celebrities unless they, I just did. But I only looked at that one person for about 5 minutes.
Point. It seemed like Diddy's team or Diddy wanted that evidence admitted because they wanted to actually pull, right? They were trying to, now here's why the people are saying, oh my God, Jane Doe said she didn't want to testify. It sounds like from what we hear with the lawyers, the arguments the lawyers were making, that Diddy's team is still trying to say that they do not believe that Jane Doe should be anonymous. And they do not believe that the people surrounding Jane Doe should be anonymous because they said that if we left everybody anonymous, there are other people that were there in the situation that could come forward and tell them what really happened, okay? Now, I think this rapper, they would use that because they are very, very good friends with Diddy. I just effed your B in a Sean John tank top, right? Right? They are very, very close friends, according to, I would imagine Kanye. He's saying that Diddy taught him everything that he needed to know about getting a wife. Let that sink in, right? So anyway, right? They either wanted them to actually say something in court, which I would never, ever, ever let, hey, I would never, ever, 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 ever let Kanye into my case to testify. I don't care. I could literally be going to court for a traffic ticket. You let Kanye literally do something to help you out, baby, you might end up with a death penalty. You might end up with a death penalty. Like, honestly, I would never let that man near my case, right? However, it looks like, and I think this is more likely, and again, this is all speculation because it was in the judge's chamber. No matter what anybody says, unless they actually are going on the record, nobody knows what happened. So let me be clear, right? However,
like she said, it is all speculation, what she just said. So the rumors won't be coming out here saying TISA said, TISA's a storyteller. Well, y'all say a liar. TISA this, no. She said what she was thinking and what she thinks. That's Anyway, if it ain't on the record, she said it's just something that she thinks. Okay? What do you say? Go ahead.
if they lift the anonymous thing for Jane Doe, right? Then Ye could come forward and say, yeah, it was us or whoever was in Vegas in 24. It really don't matter. It really don't matter, right? But they could come forward. And their argument, Diddy's argument was, if they come forward, there can be other people that can actually tell us what went wrong. Okay, there was hoopla and shenanigans, right? Listen, on top of that, the judge shut it down. And whatever happened in the chambers with the victim's lawyer and the prosecution and defense, the judge shut it down. And they were like, no. Mark Agnifilio comes out looking like, he likes to broadcast what he's feeling on the face. It makes me think with Mark Agnifilio. And he said, okay, you can do that. But he was like, but we cannot talk about anything we talked about in my chambers. It wasn't for the public record. Now, here's the thing. There was a court reporter in there, but it's going to be under public seal, right? And he's like, Your Honor, I'm sorry. I need to do it in the courtroom because when this happened, Diddy was taken back to the U.S. Marshal Service. Diddy was taken back to the U.S. Marshals. And I was like, oh, I hope he violated something, right? But he was taken back. So he wasn't even around when all this was going on. And he was.
Ooh, I wonder what happened. See, that's why I told y'all. For us that didn't see the mid-evening one that she does, that's why I said it's when I listened to the last one for the day, I couldn't really get it. I said I gotta go back because I don't know what's going on. I done got lost. Anyway. And if y'all keep sending me Pete, my great niece is in the living room, okay? She's in the front. All right. Here we go, y'all.
It's like, I'm sorry, Your Honor, my client wasn't around, so I need to say this in front of my client. So the judge was like, okay, well, do you want to say it in my chambers with your client there? Your Honor, I need to say this here. So I said, oh my God,
Diddy to know.
Diddy is grandstanding once again in open court, thinking he runs ish, and you don't run nothing. Again, Diddy is firmly in control of his legal team, but it's almost like he's running this, like this is like the comment section of a blog instead of an actual court of law, okay? So the judge is like, you are allowed to objection in the open courtroom. All right, go ahead. You got that. You got it. Go ahead, right? So then, right? He's like, you got it. Go ahead, right? So they're like, Your Honor, we need to say blah, 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 blah. Basically, a whole bunch of nothing. But it seemed like it made Diddy feel better. Now, while they were on the judge's chambers, when they came out of the judge's chambers and they were huddling, Diddy was throwing up his hands, acting mad, doing this, doing that, right? Again, Your Honor was like, Your Honor, Mark Agnifilio was like, the events of January 2024 in the Vegas hotel room. Judge Aaron was like, come on, you're going to have to wrap this up in 2 to 5 business days. Like, what are we doing, right? He said, listen, it's important that we actually release who the client's name is. So if these people, we can actually do work, right? And these people that maybe receive the actual name can add valuable info. They can give us new insight into this, right? Listen,
Oh,
he was like, anonymous victims are the worst because it deprives the defendant of the opportunity to get the public to do anything of value and bring it back. Your Honor, we think this should be a fully public trial. And I said, see, that's how you know this mofo is going to is going to the electric chamber, right? Because at the end of the day, Diddy, do you not know what anonymous victims are? Do you not know?
why did they wait? How long she been on the stand? This her sixth day? I mean, if they was gonna do that, seem like they would have did that at the beginning. That way she wouldn't be able to tell all that stuff about him. Why you gonna wait till it's time for you to cross-examine her before you even, you to cross-examine her, and now you want everybody to know her so you can bring in some more people. You should have did that before she was telling all the stuff on you. That's my opinion. All right, go ahead, TISA.
Know what happens? Do you not know that this is not a special rule they made up for you? Do you know that like this is the way best go? Like what, sir, are you actually doing, right? He said, they said, Yana, once again, we did not consent to Jane Doe, which is weird because Jane Doe was the only Jane Doe that Diddy didn't try to fight. Diddy didn't try to fight that Jane Doe. But then again, this Jane Doe was meeting with Diddy and his lawyers up until April 2025. Up until April 2025, they were meeting with the lawyers.
Right.
So I thought y'all was cool, Diddy, right? But at the end of the day, Diddy might have tried to think he could just keep Jane Doe on a leash, and it blew up in his face. That's what I think is happening. That's what I think is happening, right? They're like, we did not consent to the events tied to the trial. To the event of her being made anonymous, right? And we believe that the events tied to the trial should be public. Again, the Judge Aaron was looking at Mark Agonfield like, mofo, you and I both know that this is standard cause. Why are you letting that ninja in your seat gas you up in this good, upstanding Southern District of New York courthouse when we all know this is the way things go, right? They're like, yeah, I know we believe this info should reach the public so witnesses can come forward. Who are the witnesses? Many people have guessed that it is Ye and Bianca, but whoever it is, right? Your Honor, the info should reach the public so witnesses should come forward. In any case, Your Honor, we wanted to be we wanted to make this statement and lodge this objection in the presence of the client. And not have any secret meetings, right?
Oh my God.
Judge Aaron literally looked at all that grandstanding and he was like, I know he is tired of all of us in the courtroom.
Y'all know what? If Kanye, okay, y'all know I'm all over the place with doing reactions, right? Anyway, Kanye just got a bestie friend that's also friends with Drake, right? Top 5. So we don't want, y'all know what Top 5 always say he wanted to do to K-Dot, to Kendrick, and anybody associated with Kendrick. So why would you? I don't want Kanye anywhere around because you never know. Y'all, I got some stories to tell y'all about all of that. Top 5 and his, the GGGs. Yeah, they don't need to be around the courthouse. I'm gonna tell you that, because he promised to be one of Kanye's powers. Okay, Drake's first, then Kanye's, and I down for him to come to the Diddy trial. So who you think gonna be behind him? In my opinion.
I know he is tired of seeing our faces, seeing the thing. He literally looked at Mark and Phil, your finish and was like, okay, if that's all, right? Like, okay, right? So anyway, right? What's her name? Then, listen, Maureen Comey jumped up, right? And was like, Your Honor, if I may. And Judge Aaron was like, proceed, counselor, because you know, right? Proceed. And Maureen Comey was tilting to the side, so I already knew she was on her bullshit. Every time you see Maureen Comey do that shoulder lean and speaking to the side, you know she is coming hard. She's like, Your Honor, anyone who knows the facts of the case have come forward and contacted the witness. As a matter of fact, Mia, they received valuable information, according to them, from Mia, from people that came forward because they understood the facts of the case without a name, knew what was being discussed, and came over and said something, right? They said, Your Honor, the event in question is no, listen, and the events in question that happened in Vegas, because they want what happened in Vegas to come out, because they want, and here's the thing, I would not allow at all, Jay to testify. However, I do think that he will probably want him to go on a social media campaign to smear whatever's going on with Jane Doe. I do believe that he would go on a social media campaign to smear Jane Doe. Let's also not forget the pardon thing, right? If Jane Doe's name is actually said, let me move my purse out of the sun. The sun keeps like following me, right? But it was like, if, think about it, if they can find a way with Jane Doe to get her name out in public and get a lot of people to come forward with, I heard she lied, I heard this, I heard that, I heard she was what, and they get all that. They hope, I think, it's my opinion, that they're going to use Ye to amplify a public isharm, to start all these conspiracy theories, and I bet not one of them will be true, and start all of these conspiracy theories. And then when the conspiracies are started, then they can take it to Trump and be like, see, look, he's being treated unfairly, even though when you look into all the theories, not one of them are going to be true.
Trump already know. They're trying to say Trump pardoned Kanye. So when did Kanye go to trial? I ain't heard nothing. Y'all let me know. I missed all that. So no, okay, no. I'm still thinking. I'm still thinking. I got some stuff in my head. So when I get my 1,000 subscribers and that lock pop opens, I'm gonna be the happiest sister. But yeah, y'all, we got 864 today. I mean, right, like when I started this live, yeah, this is from last night. Last night we had 857. Today we have 864. So thank y'all. Anyway, I just thought I'd throw that up in there because y'all know I had to stop this. I can't let it just play straight through. And if y'all see this woman, I'm still hot about that. Last night, they came on here and said, why are you using TISA? The critic, that's her name. Let her know that I got TISA's okay with this, okay? Tell her I did what I said. All right, here we go, y'all. Let's keep it moving.
That's why you want Jane Doe's name out there. You want the hounds of Baskerville released upon Jane Doe. That's what's really going on. Anyway, Maureen Comey was like, Your Honor, also, these events in question in Vegas, there's no reason to even release any names, bring any statements, or bring anybody else into the case because guess what, right? There was no alleged acts of, hey, what's up? Guess what? There is no alleged acts of sex trafficking alleged. That was just a little side story. It was a throwaway. I'm sorry people got clipped by it, but it was 100% a throwaway. So what do you want to happen, right? So the judge was like, yeah, I agree. Even if this person had valuable stuff, and I will say, right, literally thinking that that allegedly, Ye could offer anything to the case besides turning into a mockery and somehow, I don't even know how Diddy could get double arrested, but if you put Ye on the case for more than 10 minutes, maybe he will get you double arrested. He will get you the electric chair. You might even lose your U.S. citizenship. Don't ask me how that could happen, but you see what Ye has done to his own life and career. Now triple that, because at the end of the day, Ye still got beef, you know? Hey, what's going on, mama?
You know I'm here for you, girl.
Hey, what's up?
I know you hot. I got you this little fan.
Oh my God,
Just,
thank you so. The hotel room doesn't mean anything. So
See?
thank you so much. All right. Anyway, right? Let's get into this, right? Listen, again, I don't know how this son is literally touching my patient.
Uh,
I don't know how with having Ye come to your defense that you could actually lose your American citizenship, but I'm 100% sure, right? They said, Your Honor, the identity of the people in Vegas, the hotel room doesn't mean anything. So why is this offendant trying to bring it in? They said nothing is related to the trafficking in the hotel incident. So it's incidental. You don't need to speak on anything. But this is their way. Again, if they can create a shit show, I believe that that is a direct link to make a path for Trump. Now, the gag is, I don't believe at all that Trump is partying the A. But you know what? Weirder things
that's what I'm
have
saying.
happened,
I
right?
haven't heard nothing about
Weirder
that
things
person.
have.
Show hell. It is crazy, y'all. Okay, y'all, please, as you come in, I'm sorry. Please hit the subscribe button and also hit that like button. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, I ain't gonna start with her. I ain't gonna start with no. I'm trying. I'm trying. But you know when you get some on your somebody's beating said something and you get it in your mind and you want to say something to that person, whoo, sometimes it's hard not to, y'all. Really. Especially when I'm nice. I'm nice. I already know. Yeah. I was raised right.
Happen, right? Anyway, I did put lol. Yay, could you imagine? Well, again, yay outside the courtroom, a lol. I said, is Bianca in her court outfit? Does she got a
Oh,
pinstripe, a nude pantyhose, shirt and bottom?
he gonna
Could
make
you imagine
the
Bianca coming in with that enhanced booty? Yeah, okay. Anyway, right?
he gonna
I
make
said, listen,
the
they want to get in maybe last minute testimony, or they want to be able to have, because here's the thing, they want to be able to have this person speak in order to do this, right? But again, what does this prove? Listen, it proves nothing. I know. Thank you so much, Melissa. I have to get her a gift. This is so pretty. I love it. Okay, right? Anyway, right? Jane entered the courtroom. Listen, Diddy was leaned forward looking on the text messages. Jane said she found Diddy disgusting, a monster, a PDF file. She was going in on it, right? Listen, they said they were trying to make an inference that she saw Cassie's lawsuit and settlement, but that's Diddy stuff. Everybody know you settled with that girl for multi-millions, and you sit up there acting a fool for the other girl doing your freak offs. You are an.
Yo, I heard it on somebody's live last night that I watched. You know, I watched because it was funny, but I watched also because I couldn't believe that he had flipped the script like that. That's why they say they stay neutral, because they flip flopping. That's the only reason somebody would say neutral in a case like this. The woman still got smacked up and all that. And listen, and it's on the record, so I don't have to say allegedly. Oh, but he wasn't found guilty yet, right? Allegedly. Read my banner, okay? Look, so, okay, he sweet talked the woman to come over here from overseas. That's the way, even though I think she was already here. But I don't know. I don't know. But I'm just gonna keep with it. Sweet talked her to come on overseas, live in LA. Yeah. And then start beating her down and making her do all this crazy stuff. She thought she was coming over here to have her a man on her arm, a rich one too, boy. Yeah, that's what she thought. But he tricked her. He tricked her, y'all. But some of us say, look, I found $1,000 in your mailbox. Girl, here. And I get out there and they smack the crap out of me. They trick me. Okay? Just that's the best I can do. Y'all, I'm a country girl. All right. So I hope y'all understood what I tried to say. I don't. But he's still tricked into coming over here. But I thought she was already over here.
They were trying to make an inference that she saw Cassie's lawsuit and settlement, but that's Diddy stuff. Everybody know you settled with that girl for multi-millions, and you sit up there acting a fool for the other girl doing your freak offs. You are an idiot. You are a fool, and you get, oh, listen, I got all ones. What does that mean? 11, 11, 1. What does that mean? It means I only got 2,000 likes. Can y'all hit that like button and show me some love on YouTube? Anyway, right? Let me get into, we'll get into like the details in a second, but let me get into this. Oh, this is what I do think is.
Y'all, after I do this one, I'm gonna hurry up and load up the nightly recap, so it'll go right with this one. I'm not a good one like King World and people like that, you know, where you can make them go together, like together. I'm not that good at it. So I gotta let this upload all that stuff, right? And then redo everything, title, you know, and then play it out. Okay, but it will be the daily recap. Okay. Today's update. That's something like that, okay? Thank y'all for listening.
Really, really weird, okay? The fact that, like, I don't know what Timmy Garagos is trying to do. I think that they actually might be trying to desensitize us to violence, because y'all remember the testimony that Jane did. And I thought it was really, really weird that the way that they're trying to like desensitize us to the violence. Because how can you say that all that stuff was going on and Tinny is walking us through that night of horror when doors got kicked in and she got beat up, and she's trying to make it seem like it's nothing, but it's super, super weird. Listen to this, right? She was like this, right? She said, again, Tinny seems really uncomfortable. They go to the day of beating and they show a picture and they're like, so you said John helped you set up. What did you set up and what did John set up? And Jane was like, John set up the candles and the lights, the red lights. And she's like, and you? She said, I set up champagne and tequila. She said, oh, so you got a magnum tequila. I mean, a magnum of champagne. And she was like, yeah, I did, right? Jane was like, I did. And she's like, and what else? And I got like 2 shot glasses, okay, and I got some tequila. So how many glasses come in a magnum of champagne? That's like 12 glasses. And she was like, okay. Again, just because you buy a bottle of wine don't mean you drinking it. It was all for the looks. Can't nobody drink. And not even that, I literally made a note. I said, Diddy was your favorite neighborhood crackhead. He literally was the real life version of Tyrone Biggins. You really expect me to believe that that man was going to get twisted? Like literally, you expect me to believe that he was going to get white boy wasted off of some champagne and some tequila? Please. He got Tucci's flowing through his veins. What the F is some tequila going to do? Get out of here, right? So they said that Diddy arrived early, right? He had on a Sean John sweater, right? Also, Teeny, during the cross-examination, I found it odd, had an oddly jovial tone. Like, you know, and he arrived and he was wearing a Sean John sweater. That's the way she would be saying that. And I would be like, we think this man is the Antichrist. This little jovial, like even when she was talking about the stripper shoes, and you said that you like wearing, you know, high heels, like 6 or 7 inches, and these heels were like 3 or 4. Girl, stop. I get what you're saying. You're trying to make it seem like it's no big deal, but you gotta stop the jovial tone because it comes across as really icky, right? So then they're going over the kitchen counter thing, right? And she said, she was like, is it not true that you told the prosecutors that you hit his head medium hard into the counter? And she was like, that much is true, right? And Diddy sitting there like, yeah, you ain't like when she got that one off, right? And then she said, she said, is this like 30 minutes later after I guess they made a video that you started to fight with Diddy? Now, if that was me, I would have objected. It wasn't a fight. It was an argument, right? Or maybe it was because she already pushed his head. But even then, your head wasn't busted open. You ain't had one bruise, one knot on your head. I get it. Nobody should lay their hands on anyone. Right. But this is what you're doing, right? This is what you're doing to justify an incredible, horrific scene of violence. Okay. They said that, she said, and also, oh, and then she tried some slick shit. She said, also, here's another screenshot that you took of yourself. And this says it was 3:40 in the morning. So you guys have been drinking, no, 3:30 in the morning. So you guys have been drinking like 7 hours. So Maureen called me and was like, objection, I need to meet with defense. And she went and talked to her. And she was like, oh, sorry. There was an issue with the UTC. I think that's a universal time code or whatever, right? The point is, she's like, oh, so if you do it with in LA and blah blah blah. That means it was approximately 8:30 p.m. Yeah, Tinny, the story changes when you try to make it seem like they've been drinking 7 hours as opposed to an hour and a half. The story for real changes. Also, Savage Justice, thank you.
Okay.
Said,
Y'all, now this is where I stop it, and if you want to see the rest of this, is the one in the day. Y'all see her, the meltdown, Diddy's meltdown today, okay? And what it really means. That's the name of TISA's thumbnail, okay? All right. So if y'all want to see the rest of it, just head on over to TISA's channel on YouTube. Y'all know I got to get this last one set up, okay? So we can get daily update because you know she's on Nancy Grace also tonight. I don't record those because I don't know Nancy. Right? I don't mess with none of that. I'm just doing this Diddy. Well, that is Diddy, but that's Nancy Grace. I don't know her. All right. So thank y'all for the ones who subscribe. Thank y'all for just watching. Thank you for your likes. I appreciate y'all inching me closer to that 1,000 mark. I appreciate it so much. All right. Bye, y'all.